And we are live. We'll wait a couple of seconds. Wait till we get actual some viewers. So
Yeah, but I think some people watch later. You know,
oh,
We have
we got four participants. So
yeah, we just had five a few minutes ago or a minute ago, so we're people are rolling in, they're trickling in, so this is going to be good.
all right,
Assalamu alaikum.
let's get this party started. Assalamu alaikum. I'm your host Ahmed Obin. Welcome to our first summer 2023 podcast. In this podcast, we'll have a welcome by our commissioner. We'll review the fall season and the winners of the fall of sorry, the winter season, the winner of the winter season. We have some important information, especially if you're new to the league. So you're going to want to stick around for that. And then we'll kind of give our takes of how the draft kind of unfolded. Before we get into the podcast itself, let me introduce Habibi, our commissioner, Ahmed Ibrahim,
Assalamu alaikum.
and the legend himself, champion, Zaid Maju, flexing his shirt. I got the same shirt on, Maju. I haven't taken it off since 2 Fridays ago.
I might as well. I might
Salam.
as well just leave. I feel so ousted in this part.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, it
Um,
just feels good. Feels good. Habibi, I do have to say from the bottom of my heart, Jazakallah for being here as usual. And without you and the dedication of the OC, none of this would be possible. So I appreciate the time and effort that the organizing committee, as we call them, the OC, you guys put in to make to make this league possible. And Ahmed Mobeen, again, just the amount of work that you do behind the scenes for podcasts and for the media team. Again, I appreciate all of that. A lot of people don't know these kind of things, but I do want to call it out, saying you guys are the reason we can have this trophy, this beautiful trophy behind you, Ahmed Mobeen. But yeah, people need to know.
yeah,
Well,
let's not. I'll let Habibi do this one. Let's not forget about Maju and his work as well.
yeah. I mean, it's a good segue. So first of all, salam alaikum to all of you guys, and actually, Zaid, actually to your point, it's not actually me. It's actually a group of us, the OC, and I actually want to acknowledge them individually. So we do have Ahmed Mobeen, and he's actually the lead of all the social media work. So anything that you guys see in terms of the social media work, Ahmed Mobeen is responsible for that. I want to acknowledge also Omar Asawi. He's the engine that drives everything in terms of like making sure the player recruitments are there. GM, all the GMs are formulated. Make sure that player relation is there. So he's also responsible for that. So without him, all this is not possible. Imad Hussein, Faisal Mahbub, they're the guys that actually drive the financial part of everything that what we do. So without them, making sure all our payments are done, making sure all our sponsors are there. So special, kudos out to Ahmad in terms of taking that portfolio, and of course, Dr. Naveen Muhammad in terms of everything that he does for disciplinary. So obviously, it's not a job that's welcomed by all, but it's also a job that's important, making sure that that part is taken care of. And of course, last but not least, Zahir Fancy, he's the person that's actually responsible for all our statistics. If you have any statistical requests or anything like that, and also for the schedule, we schedule for the entire year. And of course, without Zahir's due diligence, making sure that all player accommodations for timings and all that, that would not be done. So just it's not me, it's actually a group of us, so I just want to make sure that I acknowledge them individually. But in terms of the summer, I'm looking forward to it. It's actually, I was just looking over at the draft and just seeing a lot of new names. That's actually a good thing from where I sit, and seeing a lot of new faces. Summer's actually the time for you to join. It's actually a good time, just to show off your skills and at the same time have fun at the same time. It is competitive, but it's also friendly and it's also fun, and summer is that time for you, in terms of like showcasing what you got in terms of the passion that we have, which is ball hockey. But I'm looking forward to this great season. Actually, we're going to talk about what happened last season in terms of the fall session that just finished. But this season is going to be fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm more excited about the young youth in terms of the GMs that we have. So we have a good contingent of young uprising GMs that we're looking forward to their leadership. So it's actually good from my perspective that we're kind of seeing that kind of new blood. So I'm looking forward to working with them and making sure that all the players out there have that experience. Obviously, that led by your GM. So on my behalf and on behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to welcome you guys all. I think summer is going to be fun and exciting, and again, looking forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow, inshallah.
Yeah, I just want to throw out a few more names to that list of volunteers who help run the league. So you have Arif Khan, who is your typical host, and he's way better looking for to fill in to do these podcasts. But unfortunately, you're stuck with me. You have Salman Azmat, you have Omar Baksh, you have Sakib Kokar. You have the scorekeepers, and you have obviously our ref, longstanding ref Tony, and as well, this is a Muslim league. This is our community league. So to the players that continuously sign up and the new players who join the league, this is your league, and we want you guys to invest in this league and to grow it. It's something that leaves behind a legacy not only for yourself but for your kids and moving and the future generation. As Habibi said, we have a new set of young GM pairs that are looking to lead this league, and inshallah that will continue for many more seasons with your help.
Absolutely. And just going back to those names that you mentioned, Mobina, I didn't mean to single them out, but the names that you mentioned are also volunteers too. And the amount of time and the effort that they spend in terms of making all the social media presence that we have, it cannot be done without those gentlemen. So definitely thank you for bringing them out. And I did not mean to single them out in any way.
No worries. Maju, you want to give a welcome back shout out to anybody?
Yeah, just I guess just to continue to build off of everything. Just guys, again, welcome back to the old, to the new, to the young, old, whatever, everyone in between. We've had. I think this is one of the only leagues that I've ever played in where you actually have fathers playing with their sons. This
Yeah.
is just that amazing brotherhood. Like we have like fathers, their brothers, their kids. Like it's a beautiful thing to see where you get a full family playing in a
MashaAllah.
league.
Yep.
Yeah, mashallah. Like this I've never seen this before, and I'm so proud to be a part of it, and just to see that over the last couple of seasons. Like last season we had Rayan and Saif Khawaja and their dad Ali Khawaja. Like you just and what other league do you have? You have my fellow champion Irfan Bada Patel, who still wants to keep playing. Inshallah, he'll be back. He got his first chip, so he's taking a break. But inshallah, he'll be back when his sons are grown up too, and he might be able to play with them. So it's something so beautiful to see, and I hope we keep this going. I hope we keep this momentum as just as fire as it is right now, and I can't get enough of it. This is why I keep coming back, and this is why I can't do without ball hockey. I just need it.
Yeah,
I love to hear that.
awesome. All right, let's move on. So before we talk about the finality of what actually
What a
happened in
team. What a
the winter
team.
season, we'll get to the championship team. But Habibi, you just want to overall recap the winter season from your perspective.
Well, from my perspective, this winter season was one of our most one. It was a really good success. It was really good to see, obviously, the top tier players that we have in Muslim ball hockey today participate in this winter session, and it was good to see them not only showcasing what they can do, but also providing that guidance and leadership to the young ones. So every team, pretty much from the last season had that contingent where you had top caliber players within the Muslim ball hockey community. So from that perspective, it was definitely a success from that perspective. Seeing that talent go on, and just seeing the picture that I see in front of me right now, it just starts from there. Just the leadership that Yakina had in terms of not only the talent that they have amongst themselves, that core group, but just transforming and just kind of giving that leadership and transforming their skill sets down to the other players in the league. So from that perspective, I think that was the most notable point, which is seeing that top caliber players that would that joined and provided their
Any
leadership and their
name
skill
shout
set.
outs you want to give, both of you, Maju Habibi, in
I
terms
don't
of
want to give particular names. I think the names know who they are. We've been talking about them all of last season, but every team last season had, had that caliber team. I'm looking at even this picture in front of me in terms of like with Abrar and, Hamza and all the guys from Yakin. I don't want to single any of them out, but and Manowar and just everyone that that's at the top tier level, just kind of transcending their skill set to skill set that they're probably not used to, and just getting comfortable around that and providing that leadership to others. That was definitely present in last season for sure.
Maju. Any comments of the season as a whole before we move into specifically Team Yakin?
No, absolutely, yeah, for sure. Yeah, like again, just what uh, our old OC member, our Ahmed was saying. Just we we get to see this again. Not only that familial, the family brotherhood, but we get to see this brotherhood among all of our players in the league, where everyone wants everybody else to be better. Right? It's a challenge. It's this perpetual notion and this need to get better and to make everybody else better, not just for the sake of winning the chip. It is, the chip is the big goal at the end, but everybody has this drive within them to say, okay, yeah, you're starting on this line, but who cares? It's just a line number. You're on line 3. Who cares? That's just a number, right? But we want to make you better. You're gonna get the minutes. You're gonna get the ability to show your stuff. You're gonna get to run. You're gonna get to really work out. And mashallah, we have GMs who are constantly and consistently the GM. Like they just keep coming back, right? It's not easy to be the GM. It's a lot of work. You have to get your team on, make sure they're showing up, all of that. But another thing that all of these guys do, whether you're top tier or not, they're always coaching the young guys, the new guys, and I just love seeing that. And we saw this again across the board in every single team. We had Iman, one of the youngest GM trios in our season, in last season, and just with a couple of senior guys that they brought in, again, they were trying to work together and get the right pieces and try to get everybody. We saw that at the end where Iman was finding their rhythm. We had Summer, again, a crew of the older, like the older generation of players, but they weren't set from the get-go. So it really is anybody's season at any point, right? Summer got into the playoffs. Everyone was counting them out. They got in. Yeah, they faced Ikhlas as one of the big powerhouses, but everyone has a shot. It is any given Friday. Anybody can win. So just seeing that, and I just love last season's brotherhood, participation, people standing around after the game having a chat, giving tips, pointers. Everyone's here to have fun, right? We just need to encourage others and just whatever happens on and I think Habibi is going to talk about this in a little bit, but whatever happens on the floor, it happens. We make mistakes, we slide, and we don't mean to hurt anybody, and there's no malicious intent out there, but things happen, right? But we just got to leave it on the floor and then just enjoy the rest of our day. And this is just again why I keep coming back, because everyone is cordial, everyone is friendly, everyone values each other.
A quick point about helping each other. So, quick story actually. So, Zayfa Mandra gave me a tip in terms of what I need to do to get my shot off quicker. So, during the playoffs, I actually ended up. Well, I try to use it ever since he told me, but during the playoffs, it helped me score 1 goal. So, shout out to Zayfa Mandra. You could see that.
Sorry, I would like to say Mobin scored 2 goals in the playoffs, except maybe one was taken back, but I'm going to say 2.
All right.
But
So,
I just want to tackle it in terms of like the leadership. I've always believed in this in terms of like the 2 C's, and the 2 C's that I believe that every leader should have, especially when it comes to ball hockey, is consistency, and commitment, and that's exactly what every leader, or every captain on each team had. They had those leaders that had the commitment and the consistency. When you have those two, and when you channel that downwards, there's really nothing that can stop you. And I saw that literally with every single GM that was there, whether it was a high caliber player, or a sub caliber player, but they had the commitment and they had the consistency. So, thank you to them in terms of like providing those leadership qualities downwards.
Okay, champion Maju, this is your team. They earned it. Give them the shine that they deserve.
Man, this is just I don't know what I could see, what I could do. You know, we got the Akeem sweater going. Every one of us has got this, mashallah, this beautiful T-shirt.
Those are really nice shirts, by the way.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Just you know, we didn't even expect this. This is the first time, I believe, from the league.
It is.
We were just so shout out to the league for this beautiful T-shirt on top of the jerseys we get to keep. So everyone that's coming in this season, there were even questions last season. Hey, do you keep your jersey? Yeah, you do. So
Shout out to
that's part
Asai
of,
for the awesome design.
yes, absolutely. So this is a jersey that you get to keep for the rest of your the rest of your life. I keep my jerseys; they're just beautiful. Now,
God knows.
getting
Go ahead.
getting to the Yakin boys. Yes, we did this. Like this was just an amazing game. The finals was just like I can't ask for anything better. And what I said earlier, you know, line numbers mean nothing. They meant nothing in the finals, right? We were missing a Brar, went to a wedding, first game, but you know what? It didn't mean anything. I think our quote unquote second, third line got two, three of the goals, right? Just banging away at the last minutes of the first game. We tied it up and we took it to the final. Like we took it to the game two, tied. In game two, Abrar showed up, lights out. And sorry, Asim, I gotta call you out, bro. Hat trick in the first game as well, right?
Yep.
And game two, it was tied going into the first period. And I will say this because I know my boys, my T Park boys, the Akeem boys want me to call this out. I made the saves. I was down and out. Inshallah, we'll get this video up as soon as we can. I was down and out, but while on the floor, I made two more glove saves after already making a save, and that just got the team fired up. No doubt about it. Abrar went out and managed and also scored a Hattie right after that. So we got momentum, we got pressure, we got our third. You know, Hamza Bagat scoring, Ahmed Mobeen scoring. I think EBP got his goal as well. Like we alhamdulillah, we just could not be stopped. There was nothing doing. And I have to say, the Ikhlas guys, you played amazing. You really gave a thorough fight. Game one was just tight as could be. But you know, in that second period, it just unfortunately, you know, it did go our way. Sorry, the Ikhlas. But yeah, I'm so happy. This is another, you know, championship with the Thorncliffe guys. So for Asim, Hamza, and Yusuf, Gibby, and me, it's our two straight championships together. And you know, I couldn't have asked for a better group of players to be playing with, and alhamdulillah, we just managed to have that W.
And I'll just throw in Maju's not over exaggerating. His saves actually was a turning point in game two, because if he doesn't make those saves, Ikhlas goes up in that game 2-1, and it'll be uphill battle. So I mean, we couldn't believe that we saw it was when those shots were happening. It was like happening in slow motion. It's like you expected it to go in, but all of a sudden, like your jaw drops and you do some sort of scorpion save, and then you do a glove save against Abdullah. It's like, and then we don't even know how to explain the rest of the sequence of the save, but you really did save our quote unquote.
I saw the game. It was good. Congratulations again.
All we know is the ball stayed out. That's all I could say. I don't remember much of it anymore, but the ball stayed out.
And what I played on this team. I had probably a minimal role, but what I really enjoyed about this team is everyone contributed. I think this is one of the few teams where I think we all got a goal. But it was really that brotherhood and family. You could see next to me. There's a kid that always showed up to the game. He always supported us, and he was part of our group too. So we gave him a jersey. We made sure he got his own Yakin jersey. So it was that brotherhood that I would take most out of this particular season.
I love hearing that.
Yeah, that's Hamza Bagat, or as I called him earlier in our podcast, not today, but one of the other earlier ones, Hashim Bangat, but Hamza Bagat's younger brother. So he was always there filling up our water bottles, just showing his support on the bench. Sorry, I don't know if he was on the bench, but like he was always there, just always there and ready to help. So I'm really proud that Ahmed, you were able to get him a jersey, and you could see him just you could barely see him, but he's wearing a medal as well. So we definitely wanted to get him involved. And inshallah, he'll be playing as soon as he's able to.
Fun fact: he actually showed up to the most games out of all of the players on that team. I think we all end up missing at least 1 or 2 games. He showed up for all the games. All right, so that's the end goal. The summer, the players in the summer season. That's a picture that you want at the end. So let's before we talk about the summer season, let's talk about the new players coming into the season. Now they're excited to see what the ultimate goal is. What is some important information that new players need to be aware of, Habibi?
Well, you mentioned one, and that's the jerseys. So, I don't know how many jerseys I have. I've been playing in this league for almost 14 years, and I haven't missed a game since. And I have a lot of the jerseys. But you are correct. Your membership or your fees do include the jersey, so you do keep the jersey at the end. And again, thanks to Omar Sarb for designing the jerseys, and we kind of go through kind of a facelift, kind of every year in terms of like for sponsorship reasons, in terms of making sure that the sponsors are acknowledged on the jerseys. So it's a great facelift from the jerseys that we had in the past, and we're actually working with a new sponsor in terms of making the jerseys. So it's been a great relationship that we have with them. So that's one thing that we definitely want to make sure that they know. Another thing is we do follow BHA rules, so we do have to make sure that all players play with proper equipment, and that includes stick, gloves, hat. I do highly recommend shin pads. We do have a lot of players that like to hack. So it's also in your best interest to make sure that you play with shin guards. And
And
the
also visors are recommended.
I was about to say that visors are recommended as well. We've had a couple of eye injuries in the past, one serious one. So, and again, it's not only in our league, but it's a sport in general. So, we don't heavily enforce it, but it's highly recommended, especially for the younger kids to make sure that they have that protection there. Another thing, I don't know if many of you guys are familiar with playing at the hangar, but the hangar can become quite a hot environment, especially in the summer season. So for the summer, we do have 30-second timeout each period, and that's kind of just to give us that rest, especially for the goalies. We know how hard it is for them. To stay hydrated. So that's something that's obviously different that we don't have in the fall and winter seasons for obvious reasons is the weather. Despite the hangar being open door and everything, it can get quite hot in there. So we do want to make sure that for player safety that we do enforce that, and the referees do know that it is a brotherhood league. So obviously with brotherhood league comes with brotherhood etiquette. So we try to contain ourselves in terms of like Muslim etiquette and making sure that we don't swear, we don't fight. We're all brothers at the end of the day. We all have lives, and we just want to make sure that we adhere to that etiquette as much as possible. We do have a lot of fans, a lot of family members that do watch, so it's really up to us to make sure that we enforce the adab and make sure that it not only it's on the court but also in the surrounding areas of the rinks as well. It's a great environment. So nothing more in terms of like new information, just other than making sure that you just kind of prepare yourselves with the right equipment and just come with the right attitude. Your GMs they have been briefed in terms of making sure that we all get equitable playing time. So you will get the playing time. I guarantee you that it won't be any shortage of that. But I think, but again, it's just one of those experiences that I hope that you guys will enjoy. As we get through the next 10 games, inshallah.
Inshallah.
You did talk about the environment. You just want we did touch about brotherhood, but you just kind of want to reiterate it just for the new players. I think it's good to reiterate.
It starts with our dean, to be honest with you. I mean, it's all embedded in our dean, it's all embedded in our adab, and we just want to make sure that it's embedded when we play. So it's all a full circle. We just want to make sure that we kind of cut our swearing. We know our sport is competitive and it can get quite heated at times, but just remember we're all Muslims at the end of the day. So I just want to make sure that we all understand that the referees do understand that they do understand that our league is a little bit different than others. Where we do try to adhere to that code of conduct, if you might say. So it's just really reiterating what we already know that's already embedded in our DNA, which is what keeps us united, which is the two things, which is hockey and being Muslim. So I think yeah, it's just making sure that we stay in that conduct.
All right, Maju, anything to add for new players?
Uh, just again, I think we said this earlier, and again, just to reiterate, but like, guys, again, things will get hot, things will get heated. It happens, right? We let our our testosterone, whatever, take the lead from time to time. But you'll see in this league, again, unlike any other, that guys still have that they have their deen, they have Islam in the forefront of their mind. Like they always have that, and you'll see guys run in, maybe have a collision, but that guy will turn around. Oh, are you sorry? Are you okay, brother? Are you okay? So they still worry about them, right? So at the end of the day, it's about all of us, all of each other. We have to take care of each other at the end of the day. So please just be mindful of that. Whatever happens on the floor, if someone accidentally trips you, no one is going out there with the intention of hurting, right? Sticks get out of the hand, they slide out, things happen, and just leave it on the floor, right? You can always discuss it with people afterwards, give them some time to relax, but always, there's nothing wrong with talking to the person reasonably after the fact. Guys, again, as a goalie, as a big goalie too, it does get super hot. Players, you do have a fan on the bench. Inshallah, it works and has been working recently, but there is a fan that'll cool you off. Make sure you're bringing water, multiple bottles if necessary. I try to bring an ice bottle and like a bottle full of ice, and then put the water in during the game, or at least some sort of hydration, whatever fluid you want. But make sure you bring it, guys. Please don't forget. It is very important. The heat will get to you. So
Yes,
I
I'll
just
just
want to
add.
be very
Sorry,
mindful.
Maju, just cut you off because I just want to add an important point that for goalies, especially if you're feeling a little bit dehydrated, you can always let the refs know, and they'll give you that time to get hydrated and compose yourself. So don't think you have to power through it because you're out of timeouts. If you need to take about 10-15 seconds to get that extra gulp of water down in your system,
No
then
shame with that. Yeah.
yeah. All right, we got to move on because we have a lot to cover. We have a few more topics to cover. So we're going to talk about the draft. And my apologies. Give me 1 second to get myself set up here. So let's just give our overall thoughts of the draft. Habibi, Maju, you were there in person. What was the atmosphere like? We haven't had a live draft for ages. Well, I mean, just like the world, we kind of been remote for a while.
Yeah.
So
I mean, for
what was that interaction environment like for the GMs to kind of see each other? Kind of, I guess it's kind of like a poker game where you kind of see are they going to pick this player before do I pick them this round or? But Habibi, you're there, so
Yeah, I was there as I traditionally am, and you're absolutely right. This was one of those drafts where we've never had a live draft, obviously since before the pandemic. But it was good to see that that environment live in person again. And the way we planned it is to have the pickup game before, and just to kind of see if we can get a couple of players just actually watching really what actually happens. That was good to see too. That was a first for us in Iceland in terms of having that. But what was more important for me, and I see this every year. I've been doing this for many years. Is that just seeing the because you hear a lot of chatter in terms of GM strategies before the draft, but once that clock is there, everything is just kind of it kind of goes out the drain in terms of like the strategy. Then what we do right now in terms of looking at the outcome, we're like, what were they thinking? But that happens, and just seeing it live and seeing it transform in front of us in terms of the people that were there, that was fun. It was good to see. Good to see the newer GMs to actually see what actually goes on, and to see what picks what they had before and how it transcends, and just doing it under pressure, and doing it under live pressure because of the fact that we're all there, everyone's seeing, everyone can hear what they're doing, whereas when you're doing it live, you have your mics off, your cameras off, nobody really knows what they're doing. But just seeing that hustle and bustle in terms of like because we're all at on two tables and we can pretty much hear what everyone's saying, and when you're on the gun, it's like it was a fun atmosphere. It was one of those things where, like I said, it was kind of the norm prior to the pandemic, but it was really good to see that environment back. But Amaja, I don't think that you've seen a live draft before. So what was your take on it?
No, no, I've never seen it with Islam. I've been part of a live draft before with I would like to say our earlier league where Mobeen and I played in IBHA, but it was amazing to see. NHL has nothing on us. Let's just say that. You see, in the NHL, you see the draft, you see guys talking. It was almost the same atmosphere. You had GMs trying to go to the other GM and say, "Hey, are you taking this guy? Hey, can we make a deal? Can we do something?" And then you had guys who got picked, and of course the GMs asking them, "Hey, yeah, I've already taken you part of my team. Who should we get?" So you see this little, back and forth, this little tit for tat. It was just beautiful to see. And then, like you said, when that clock starts, when that 1 minute clock starts, and you're on the board to make your pick. I don't know. I'm looking at some of these picks. I'm not going to say which ones, but I think some people dropped a lot further than they should have, and some guys just.
Actually, I think you should say because that's the next segment.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. That's what the people want to know. So,
So
first of all, we'll go high level. What team impressed you the most? The people's choice based on the polls was Haya. His favorites to win.
Well, I'm just going to go right off the bat. I mean, there is a separate GM chat group, and it was kind of interesting to see how no one wanted actually the first pick. And to be honest with you, seeing what Hassan did with their first pick, I think they did the right move. I actually definitely think they did the right move, and it was actually surprising to see that none of the other GMs wanted to do that. Maybe they had a different strategy. I don't know, but I think having that first pick in this round or this draft. Is good, and we'll wait to see what happens. So I think Hassan, typical Dawood, he goes with what he's familiar with. He's not a stranger to to Ray and Saif. He's played with them last season. He knows what they bring to the table, and having that first round pick, having them back to back, obviously because of accommodations. That actually can work to their favor. Again, the season is still raw. We haven't started yet, but looking right off the bat, I think that was pretty. That's the one thing that definitely stood out in my mind for sure.
Maju, what team stood up for you?
I gotta say Iman. I think we again, being on Iman, I have the benefit of saying that, but I think we are a very well-rounded team. Our GMs are also very well-rounded. Both can play back and front, and they're both young and they want to push the team forward. So even in our chat, it's been live, and we have Faisal Mehboob, who was taken at 47. I think he was one of the steals of our team, where you don't get this person with his caliber of energy, his caliber of just being a straight talker, getting guys hyped, getting in front of the net, scoring faceoffs. He's just this all-around player that just keeps falling late in the drafts. You don't get that kind of guy. And I think, Iman, we really have this well-rounded team. Now, going back to what Habibi was saying, with just that accommodations, I just want to clarify for folks that I think there were only 2 accommodations in the league because of ride situations. So there was, if anybody picked Saif or Rayan Khawaja, they would get their brother automatically as their next pick. So if you picked Rayan, Saif was automatically your second rounder or your next pick. And it was the same thing with Esen Zaidi and Mikhail Zaidi. So whoever went earlier doesn't matter, but father-son duo, and again, ride being the very the crux of this. If you picked one, you automatically get the other. And I think, Habibi, you hit it on the head, is getting. I actually thought maybe Farouk Khan or excuse me, Farouk Khan, I think was, or even Esen Zaidi, I thought they were going to go first overall, just because of that. Most teams are forward heavy. They want to grab that all-star D-man to just lock it down. And I was caught unaware about this with Rayan Khawaja as the first pick, but absolutely, I think it makes total sense. You're getting a first rounder in this season, Rayan Khawaja, and Saif. I think he's legitimately one of the first rounders for being a defenseman. And these guys, just selfless players, love to block, love to just go out there, young energy guys, not kids. I gotta stop using that word, but they to get them as a solid, first 2 lock. I think that was just brilliant play. Another solid pick that went a lot further than I expected was Yasser Habib. I saw him play in the pickup game. I thought he was dead set going to be a first rounder. I had no doubts about that. And he went 28th overall to Rida. So that's just a steal right then and there. I thought he was a first round, first, maybe second, worst case scenario, but he just dropped out of a lot of people's radar. So
my steal of the draft, and is a bit of a hit scratcher, is this guy named Zaid Maju. He was he comes off not even a week from winning the championship, and I guess Mahmoud played his cards right, because I guess he's happy, but for the rest of us, I don't know what else Zaid Macho has to do. Does he have to donate his kidney or his lungs, or to be drafted higher? But I guess Zaid Macho will just keep winning championships and keep proving people wrong. So keep
Well, I mean,
drafting where he's drafted, and he does keep winning championships and keep proving doubters wrong. Go ahead, Habibi.
No, I was just gonna say, just going back, because I know we're kind of going off topic, but just going back in terms of like the team, Iman, you're absolutely right. It is a well-rounded team. You do have, yourself in net, but you do have, Farouk Khan, which is a standout defenseman. I know you've played with him over the years, and of course you can't forget that GM contingency that you already have with Asif and Omar Mahmoud. I saw them at the draft. They were extremely well prepared. They knew exactly what they're doing coming in. So I could tell you that this team was created based on what they planned. And from what I'm seeing, you're absolutely right in your assessment. It is definitely a well-rounded team. Um, going back to the other teams, Haya, you can't stop that GM tandem. That GM tandem right off the bat with Hamoudi and Mohib, and again with their picking a goalie in the first round, you already solidified everything in terms of like the top caliber from. And of course, having Amar Khwaja. Amar Khwaja is a steal, a steal, a steal. You can't have a better defenseman, on a team than him. As a forward, I have difficulty playing against him, and he's proven on time and time again in terms of like the defensive powerless that he can have. So Haya, kudos to them in terms of like drafting as well as they did. With drafting a goalie first round, that could be argued in terms of like why teams do that. But again, they solidified a top goalie. They felt the confidence that they could do it with him. But again, when you have Amr Khwaja there, when you have Mohib and Hamoudi just kind of doing what they need to do. And of course with Zoo, they got Zuhair, as a stand-up defenseman as well. So that team is going to be that team is extremely well drafted, and it'll be interesting to see what they can do. You're talking about Rida with the steal in terms of like Yasser Habib, and that's the reason why we did the pickup, to get the players exposed and see what they do. But again, these two GMs with Hamza and Abdullah, like in terms of like, coming prepared, they were prepared as well. They came in, they did everything that they needed to do to make sure that they drafted a well-rounded team. And having Ajmal in the first round, not a bad pick at all, actually.
So Hamza and Abdullah, he are the same player. You meant Hashim.
Right.
But like even at the 33rd pick, they ended up getting Yusuf Kapoor, right? Best goalie of the season. He definitely stoned Yakin playing on when he was on Rida, just a 1-0 shutout at 26 shots. Like that's not a common thing. But Yusuf, once he's find his rhythm, he's lights out. And again, to be picked as a second last goalie of the draft, just astounding to me.
And
so
don't forget about the most important piece of that team too, is the Zadis as well.
The Zadis, yeah.
So the Zadis as well, combined with that right off the bat, you got a standout defenseman in Hassan Zaidi, and you got a standout forward in his son Mikhail. So that is also a well drafted team as well. So that's another team that that will definitely cause mayhem.
All right, let's wrap up with Yakin and Klaas. Go ahead, Maju.
Yeah.
Just finish up this segment.
Yeah. So Yakin, I think they're a little bit questionable under draft. I think everyone's still wondering how it's going to all fit in, because again they have two forwards, really young guys as the GMs. But I think they did well getting Omar Asawi, a solid D-man. Whether he puts up points or not, he will shut the other team down. He might be missing a few games here and there. Mashallah, he's going to be getting, inshallah, getting his, having the birth of his third child, not him, but his wife. So that's just, one of the priorities that take. I know, Habibi, we all can't be you. You're still playing on the same day that your child was born. But just a great looking team all around. It's just going to be, personally, I think both Yakin and Ikhlas, there's a lot of unknown factors there, right? Ikhlas, even Ahmed Ibrahim going 42nd overall, and Ahmed Mobeen going 55th overall.
But I
That,
wouldn't I wouldn't discount Abdullah though. Like Abdullah Patel, I mean,
yes,
and
yes,
of course our other GM abroad too. I mean, those two guys are standout players. But I wouldn't.
Adnan,
Adnan, sorry, I apologize. But Abdullah knows players. He knows
yes.
players that none of us know. So I'm going through my, and I do say my team because I am on that team. So I'm fortunate to play for Ikhlas. But I think our team is well drafted. To be honest with you, I think we do have, our goalie, aka Black Bear. He showed a lot of resilience in terms of, like, filling in for teams in the past season. And of course, like, with the players that we have in terms of like Salman and Salman Said, in terms of what he brings to the table, and all these players that we have on our team, I think our team is also a team to be reckoned with. I think Abdullah did a good job. He also was one of the GMs that came prepared, and I wouldn't discount in terms of like what Ikhlas brings to the table as well.
The funny thing is, a week ago, me and Abdullah were on opposite sides, but now, but now the beauty of Islam, you could be against each other, and then and the next season you could be the teammates. So
Absolutely.
that goes back to
Absolutely.
the brotherhood. So, we're gonna wrap this podcast up. We just have one more segment. Let me just get set up here. Sorry, is the journey to get to this what Maju held last week begins this Friday. We have Iman versus Hassan, Yakin versus Ikhlas, Haya versus Rida. Uh, this is the first week to a long journey. For me personally, I always thought during the summer season, that's where you individually you get to test yourself because you'll be tested, especially the environmental conditions. Mixed in with the competitive nature as well, so you'll see what you're really made out of when the pressure's on, and people are different when the pressure really gets tightened up. So
Yeah, tell me
it'll
about it.
be I'm excited. Opening week, especially regardless if it's a fall, winter, or summer, is always the most exciting week because everyone is anxious to see how their team does. Everyone has that ambition that they think their team will go all the way and hoist the cup. Good luck to all the teams. Habibi, do you want to end this podcast off?
No, I mean, the only thing I'm looking forward to is obviously seeing all you guys there. And good morning, Dawood, for waking up. So thank you for joining us at Maghrib time. But at the end of at the end of the day, it's opening night, guys. It's like you said, Mobin. It's one of those nights where we're all looking forward to seeing each other. And again, just going back to what you're saying, Mobin, you're on the championship one team, and then all of a sudden you start another journey with another 14 bunch of guys for the next 10 weeks. So that is literally the beauty about Iceland. That's literally why I keep playing every year, and I have established so many friendships. And I hope that you all establish those friendships as well, because the journey that you're about to embark on with your teammates for the next 10 games, hopefully they'll transcend, and you'll do it all again with a bunch of other guys. So on that note, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys next week. Sorry, tomorrow, literally. And yeah, just hoping to see all of you guys, and just hoping that your journey will end up in that cup that sits behind you, Mobi.
And even if it doesn't, you'll have memories that will last you a
Oh,
lifetime.
I still
Right,
remember my first championship like
right.
13 years ago. So yeah.
All right, gentlemen, it was a pleasure. See everyone, inshallah. I'll see most of you guys, if not everyone, tomorrow.
Inshallah.
And with that, assalamu alaikum.
Wa
Wa
alaikum
alaikum
salam.
salam, everyone.